One thing we were promised and really looked forward to were the side quests in this game. There were going to be a lot of them, and we expected them to be good. Well, there was a very high number of them, and to be honest, there were a few pointless ones among them.
But the game also had a number that were really fun and enjoyable, so that's what we're gonna talk about here. What's nice about this is that in certain games it can be debated what makes a side quest a real side quest, but here the game has an official page for that exact thing.
So it was easy to look back at which ones we enjoyed. We based the choices on how interesting the objectives were, how fun they were to do, how complex a few of them could be, and overall how enjoyable they were to us, in which we'll go into detail about in the entries.
So, here it is, the last Breath of the Wild video we have planned for you. We're the Owners of Triforce, I'm Owner 1.
And I'm Owner 2, and this is our top 10 side quests in Breath of the Wild. Alright, the first side quest we show you here on this list is a very simple and kind of a silly one. However, it's the reward that helps put it here.
Number 10 is the Priceless Maracas. It's silly because you have Hestu, a pretty weird Korok who's lost his priceless maracas. They are kept by a little group of bokoblins nearby, and it's not hard to defeat them and retrieve the maracas.
The side quest is pretty much over when you give them back, but again, what you get from this is what makes this a worthy side quest. It sort of continues throughout the game, because whenever you gather Korok seeds around in Hyrule, you can meet up with Hestu after this and trade them in for more weapon and shield inventory space.
And every time you do, you get this funny dance. More bag space is very helpful in this game, and that's why we picked this one at number 10.
Flown the Coop. This is just a side quest about collecting cuckoos, and doesn't reward you with anything more than 50 rupees for getting the job done. So why is it on the list?
Because it's such a classic side quest in the Zelda series. When this game introduces a huge new world to explore and puts a new spin on the side quest, the general formula of a Zelda game even, we can't help but love seeing something so familiar.
You look around KAKARIKO village, you pick up the cuckoos you find and throw them into their home. It's been done in other classic games, so we just had to put it on the list. It needed to be somewhere, but since it's not anything more special than that, it lands as low as the number 9 spot. You guys who've been following us for a while know that we love undead creatures, as the Stalhorse keeps being mentioned as our favorite enemy. You should have some idea about how our reaction was when we found out that there are skeleton horses in this game.
No kidding. The skeletal war horses are my favorite mounts in World of Warcraft, so learning that there's that kind of mounts in Breath of the Wild through the side quest, we just had to find room for this one on this list.
The side quest called STALHORSE Pictured is found at the Snowfield stable in the HEBRA region. There's a woman called HYLIAN who tells you about how she wants to see this creepy STALHORSE monster with her own eyes, which we really wanted to do too.
So we set out to take a picture of one up north from the stable. It's a simple side quest, but a very intriguing one, especially for me. I got the idea of naming my horses after the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. I mean, some version of them, as they seem to have different names based on different interpretations or something, but whatever. This one was perfect for being deaf. Sadly, you can't tame these horses, only ride them for a little while. That was disappointing, but hey, it was still a cool side quest.
Here's another side quest where you need to take a picture. So, Bozai is this weird dude standing outside of Gerudo town, trying to impress the ladies by running back and forth on the sand with his sand boots. Well, let's just talk about the quest. He sends you off trying to find the 8th heroine and take a picture of it.
There are 7 huge statues standing in a circle in the eastern part of Gerudo, but there's a rumor about there being an 8th one in a completely different area. As it turns out, it's true. It's not a super special side quest, just like the Stalhorse one, but we like little mysteries and myths like this.
The 7 heroines sounds so legendary, and with it being a mystery to many if there really is an 8th one is pretty intriguing. It's not all that hard to find, since it's huge and pretty visible, but it is kinda hidden in a chasm on the north side of the Gerudo Highlands. What makes it more interesting is how you can find her sword in the Gerudo Highlands as well, but in an area pretty far away from the statue itself.
It makes the culture, civilizations and areas feel so much more valuable, ancient and interesting. So despite the quest being pretty simple, the content of it is just really cool to us. Plus, you get his sand boots, which are pretty useful with their increased walking speed in sand.
This next one is kinda special, cause it's really a side quest you complete by doing other side quests.
But it does show up as a side quest on the list in-game, so yeah, we'll count it. The Thunder Helm.
The Thunder Helm is of course named after the helm that Riju used when you attempt to enter Vana Boris. The quest is named after it because you'll get to use it as a reward, which is pretty awesome.
But what makes this side quest special? The fact that you need to help out all the inhabitants of Gerudo Town who's got some kind of problem. Which means you just finish other side quests to finish this one. That's kind of it.
However, that's also what's kind of cool about it. You get to talk to people, help them out and get to know them. The quests are also fun, cause you'll help out getting medicine from a Molduga, find one of the lost gods, help a little child grow a little garden.
It's fun, and the reward is pretty badass, cause the Thunder Helm really is a precious heirloom to the Gerudo people.
Next up is a fun one. In Hatano village, you find these carpenters who are about to demolish a vacant house. The side quest here is about purchasing the house for yourself instead of having them demolish it.
It's quite expensive though. At first, the boss of the carpenters, Bolson, says it costs 50,000 rupees. However, he lowers it down to only 3,000 rupees, but in return, he wants 30 wood bundles. Gee, something tells me the 50,000 rupees thing was kind of bull.
They'll stop their work and wait for you to come up with the money and wood whenever that time might be. When you do have the resources though, you can head back, pay up, and then the house is yours.
It's sort of a simple task, but it's fun how you're able to decorate your own home. You can pay Bolson some more for gear displays, installations, and house exterior. This means a door, trees, flowers, displays on the wall to put up shields and weapons and other things. It's like they brought a little of The Sims into a Zelda game.
What makes this even more interesting is how Carson, the first carpenter you're likely to talk to, says that the house was abandoned by the owner who went to Hyrule Castle to report for service but never came back. This, of course, leaves a lot of speculation that this house might have been Link's home to begin with all those years ago. That's also a really cool thing.
Our fourth favorite side quest in the game is in Gerudo, found at the Gerudo Canyon Stable. There's a guy called Sesame there who traveled with 4 other friends, but they all went missing along the way.
So it's up to you to find the ones who were missing in action. We already think it's kinda fun to just go out and try to find these people, but it's even more fun when we realize that we had to walk upwards these structures and fight off the bokoblins who have been threatening these friends.
What we like about this quest is that you have to look for these people and then fight enemies to rescue them from danger. It makes us feel heroic. Though, a lot of things in Zelda make us feel heroic.
But also, it's fun to see how the different friends react when being rescued. They're pretty impressed with Link and thankful for his help, but some are pissed at Sesame for not coming to look for them, and others are just glad that he's safe.
Sesame is glad the others are safe as well, and he also learned a lesson about friendship. And really, what is more important than friendship? 300 rupees, that's right. There are lots of things we enjoy in quests. We enjoy hunting down enemies, talk to other characters, take pictures of something, solve a puzzle. Hell, we sometimes even like fetching a single thing for someone. But one thing we see little of in video games though, that we really enjoy, is riddles.
It took us a great while to actually discover this, but on top of the Great Deku Tree, you can find Walton, who gives you the quest called Riddles of Hyrule. It's pretty simple, but also fun. He tells you a riddle that you're supposed to solve by putting the correct item he's hinting at in front of him.
A few of them are simple, but they do get a bit harder as they go. There are 5 riddles, and they aren't all totally difficult, but it's fun to get your brain thinking and come up with the right answer.
It also has a cool way of giving your answer, by putting the item on the leaf in front of Walton. Of course, the downside to this is that if you don't actually have the item, you can't complete it until you get it.
This isn't all original, as a very similar thing was done beneath the well in Majora's Mask, but it's really adorable having a Korok give you this task, and it was pretty cool how we found him on top of the Great Deku Tree, a place that we barely even thought we could climb to.
Oh, and the reward is a diamond. That's pretty good.
Okay, so here's one last photo side quest, and the best one at that in our opinion. It was also the most difficult one in my personal experience.
You might have come across one or more of these already before you pick up the quest, but there are 3 guys at Serenne's stable talking about the bones of 3 Leviathans around in Hyrule. They don't seem to be able to find them themselves, so that's where Link and his Sheikah Slate comes in.
They are all spread around at 3 different areas around in the world, and you only get hints to what regions they exist in. Personally, I had already found the one in Gerudo before meeting these guys, and the one in Eldin wasn't all that difficult to find. But the one in HEBRA? Holy, I spent a lot of time searching for that one.
Even though Owner 1 was tired of searching for the 3rd one, we both enjoy quests like this. Just hearing about something that might exist out there somewhere and being sent off to find this something with a little hint or 2 is a lot of fun to us. What's more exciting is that you find the remains of gigantic monsters that used to live and exist in this world at some point in time. We think that's a really cool thing, and that's why we personally placed this at number 2.
Number 1 shouldn't be that surprising to some of you, as we've seen a couple of comments praise this one. From the moment we finished this side quest, we knew it would be in the top somewhere. As it turned out, nothing better came along, and our number 1 side quest is From the Ground Up.
This is actually a huge chain, kinda like the Thunder Helm. It starts off when Hudson, one of the carpenters from Bolson's company, wanders off to Akala to find a new place to live. For every step of the quest, he asks you to find more people to help out building this little town that they named Tarrytown. In addition, we often have to bring him bundles of wood in order to build the houses.
For every task is next, whether it's breaking boulders or just needing a tailor, you have to travel to different villages and find people of different races and abilities to help build up this new village. The funny thing is that he still follows the Bolson construction rule, in that the employee's name needs to end in son, like Hudson, Carson and Bolson. This is really specific, and we really found it fun to talk to these different people and see if their names fit with the description.
This town grows gradually as you complete a new task by bringing materials or finding the right person to make the town move forward. It's an amazingly fun side quest that's really long, which in this case is a really good thing. In the end, you even help out arranging a wedding for Hudson and the Gerudo who moved in, Ronson. This side quest really reaches a happy ending.
This side quest is just fantastic. You contribute in building a new town, a new society, with cultures from all over Hyrule. This quickly becomes the most multicultural town in the world. It's sort of riddling with how you need to find people with the right description that Hudson gives you, both in abilities and name. You bring materials, and you even help out 2 people finding love. Even though one of the vows is, well, funny, again, to say the least.
You're then rewarded with 3 diamonds in the end for all of your hard work, but another thing also unlocks. Grante, who happens to be Robbie's and Jerry's son, sits on top of one of the houses and sells rare armor, though for decently high prices. This allows you to buy a HYLIAN shield if you ever lose one that you found, for example. For all the reasons, this is, without a doubt, our number 1 side quest in Breath of the Wild.